What is going on, guys? PXCam20 back in with a brand new video. We are here for a brand new week of daily races, and I'm actually really intrigued by all the races that we have this week, as we are at one of my favorite racetracks. It's actually grown to become my favorite racetrack, and that is Willow Springs International Raceway. So in the Group 4 cars here at Willow Springs with the medium and hard compounds, it's actually been a really great day of racing here on this track, as on the stream we were able to get into a really good qualifying lap, but not only that, have some really competitive racing, have some really close side-by-side racing, and actually get a win on the stream that we had here on Monday. So a really fun time that I'm having here, as it is not just a one car fiasco. It's not just the Peugeot, it's not just the Audis dominating this race. You actually have a variety of cars, which makes it a lot more fun, because you just have so many different types of strategies, different types of races, and just a lot of different action that happens on this race. So that, and the combination of this racetrack in itself and how crazy of a racetrack this is, just the amount of incidents that can happen, the accidents, mistakes, all that good stuff, just makes up a good combination for some wacky, crazy, fun race. So before we jump into it, if you guys really enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video, as it really helps out the channel when you guys do so. Anyways, that is enough promoting myself. Let's jump straight into this wacky race. Jumping into the race now, we are starting in 9th place, as this was one of the earlier races that I did in the live stream. So this was one that wasn't able to put in a banger of a qualifying lap, as we did start with the 1.17.2, and that is going to put us in 9th place now as we are starting the grid. So waiting for the 5 red lights to go out, so we're waiting for the 4th, the 5th, on the throttle now as we wait. Lights are out, we release the brakes, and away we go now as we set our traction control to 1 down to 0. And you can see already there's some havoc going on, as there's a Viper spinning out, and there's an Audi TT out onto the outside. We make a little bit of contact with the Megane. Going to the first corner, the Megane makes a little bit of contact with 7th place, as we are now going double wide into the turn number 1, into the Rabbiteer. Going to the Rabbiteer now into turn number 2 and 3. There's a car that goes up onto the jump, spins out, and we get another position there, as there's a chaotic start here, as not even 2 or 3 corners in, and we already have 3 incidents going on, as we are now right behind the Brazilian of the Audi TT heading into the left-hander. So braking right after the 50-meter board, make a little bit of contact with the blue Audi as we're trying to just take a little peek onto the inside. Again, just staying right behind here as we get a little bit of a tap from behind, pushes us up forward, but we slam on the brakes just ever so slightly so that we avoid making contact with the Brazilian, and we're able to settle now in 9th place as we head into the left-hander, leading into this second straightaway onto the long, awkward right-hander. So staying right behind the Audi TT in the slipstream. There's a car that had a service penalty, and it's one of the Vipers. So not exactly sure why he got the penalty. Maybe he was involved in one of the incidents in the beginning of the race, but that is an easy position for us as we are heading to the final corner now. Very tricky corner here, as we brake very early, let the Brazilian just go ahead, and the Megane of the Canadian, and the Megane actually gets very loose. He gets wide, and we can see we are able to overtake 3 cars, as not sure what happened, but we were able to get around 3 cars, as the 2 Meganes messed up out of the final corner, messed up the Audi right ahead of us. We stayed on the throttle, and we were able to get 3 positions there in the span of 1 easy move. So now onto the Rabbits here for the second lap, and we are in 5th place, as we were able to get 4 positions from the start, and now we're setting our sights on the red Audi right ahead of us, and the American and the red Audi, as we head into the left-hander. Going to the left-hander, we go a little bit wide here, as you can see on the bottom left that our brake keeps on blipping in and out. Not sure why the brake kept blipping in and out. I've cleaned the brake pedal so many times, but I've just been having so many issues. So you guys are going to see that throughout the video. If you guys comment down below, I understand. I know that the brakes is stuck. So I know I received a lot of comments from the race earlier, or the video earlier in the week, and I know that it's an issue, but going down the straight, you can see the brake is being held right there, as it was about a quarter held down, and that is actually going to hurt us down the straight, as we are losing so much time to the car behind us because of the brake getting stuck. But luckily we're able to hold our position ever so slightly as we head into turn number 1. Coming out of turn number 1, again the brake gets stuck again, and we lose the 5th position to the Brazilian, and now we have to fight our way back ahead of the Brazilian, try to catch up to the 4th and 3rd place driver, as 1st and 2nd are now starting to run away with it, and we are now falling right behind the Brazilian. So on the medium tires right now, we started on the mediums. This is when I didn't really know the strategy. If you guys are racing now, the strategy is, for me at least, doing a one stop. If you're in the front, start on the mediums, run until about lap 9 or 10, and then switching off to the hards. But if you're starting in the back, it's best to just start on the hards, and then like around lap number 5 or 6, switch off to the mediums and just run the medium all the way to the end. But this race, we actually ran a strategy where we did a 2-stop, so we're going to run the mediums all the way to lap 7, lap number 14, and then switch off to the hards on lap number 14. So as we come into the inside now of the final couple corners, we're on the inside of the Brazilian as we're going all the way to the dirt, trying to make an overtake as we head into the final corner. We back out of the move there, but the Brazilian's able to get a really wide entrance into the corner, and we got a great run coming out of the final corner, but we just make contact ever so slightly to the 5th place Brazilian, and that actually helps him out because it actually pushes him up forward. So still fighting with the 5th place Brazilian as we're heading to turn number 1 on lap number 4. We back out right here as we're just trying to refocus ourselves, regain some confidence in some of these corners, and see if we can get another place to try to make an overtake, as there's really not that many overtaking positions on this racetrack. There's probably maybe 2 or 3 great overtaking spots that you can do, and we already passed one, which is turn number 1, and then the second one they could probably try making a move on is right here, but we're just a little too far back on the Brazilian. He actually takes a very narrow entrance, goes very wide as he brakes really late, and that actually allows us to catch up to him here coming to the right-hander, as one of the Americans actually goes a little bit wide, takes the gravel road and sprays up some dirt right in front of our faces, as the Brazilian now sprays up some dirt in front of our faces, distracts us just ever so slightly, and we lose a little bit of time to the Brazilian now as we head into the straight. So on the straight now, going into the final corner once again. It's almost a replay of the lap before, as we're again going into the inside, take the dirt road once again, and we're not going side by side with the Brazilian. Can we pull off the overtake this time? Going into the final corners, we're now going side by side. He brakes very, very late as he goes very wide. We cut right in front of him. We're able to make an amazing overtake on him, slice right in front of him, and we are now promoted into 5th place now as we jump into the 5th lap here, heading onto the final corner. So great overtake that we were able to make in the Brazilian, but unfortunately there's another Brazilian right behind us that is trying to make an overtake on the inside of us, and he is able to do so here. Slides right in front of us as we try to make a cutback. Get a great cutback as he goes a little bit wide, goes into the gravel, try to make a move onto the inside, as we did a horrible job right there, and we accidentally made contact with the Brazilian in 5th place, as I was just trying to cut it back onto the inside and try to get an inside line going into turn number 1, but I just very, very badly mistimed it. And that was the consequences that we have to serve there, as we now get demoted back into 6th place. But luckily, there's a Brazilian right ahead of us, and I think it's actually the one that I made contact with, and he has to serve a 1-second penalty. So maybe that's going to help us out here as we head into the final corner and go into the penalty zone right before the start-finish line. So we're going to see what happens here, as him and the Colombian are now going side by side going into the final corner. The Brazilian is able to make an overtake on the outside of the Colombian, but the Colombian gets a really bad entrance as the American was able to get around the Colombian. He gets a horrible exit coming out of the final corner, and we are able to get around him and the Brazilian now, as he had a service penalty, and we make up 2 positions there in the span of 1 corner, or 1 straight actually, and we are now promoted into 4th place, setting our sights on the 3rd place American in the Audi TT. So jumping a little more forward into lap number 7. This lap we are going to have to come into the pits, as that was my strategy here. It's a 2-stop, but again, if you guys are running the race now, I recommend doing the 1-stop. But coming out of the right-hander, we get very close to the back bumper of the Audi TT ahead of us, and luckily we were able to avoid making contact with him. But again, the brake is just getting stuck as we're coming out of these corners, and you can see how much it's just affecting the car, as we have now the Audi TT all over our back bumper. He moves onto the inside, makes a great move right there as we try to block him onto the inside heading to the final corner. He was able to just stick his nose right there. We gave him the position, and we're going to have to give him the spot here, as going side by side into the final corner usually does not spell well for the car on the outside. So we have to give up the 4th position here, as a couple of guys ahead go into the pits. The Brazilian goes into the pits, and we're going to hop right into the pits, shift off to another set of mediums, and we are out of there now as we come out in 5th place right behind the Brazilian. So 4 cars ahead of us came into the pits, but one of them actually stayed out. So very interesting to see him stay out. We're going to see what he does here towards the final ladder of the race, and see if we catch up to him. Maybe he gets into a hard compound on this lap. Not sure what his strategy is, but Currently, we're focusing our sight now on the Brazilian, as we have the cars that were first and second right ahead of us, and we're actually gaining a little bit of time on them. So we were able to kind of close the gap to them. Not tremendously a lot, but we're going to see if we could try to catch up to them, because not sure if they are doing a one-stop or a two-stop. If they're doing a two-stop, maybe we could try to catch up to them, as like we are on the fastest compound of the race. But coming out of this right-hander, you can see the Brazilian now starting to pull away from us as we jump into lap number 13. So nothing really happened from lap number 7 to lap number 13, so I save you guys the trouble of not watching some boring lap times. But you can see we are now promoted into 4th place. There's a car that comes into the pits, and it's actually the Brazilian. Comes into the pits, and he comes out right behind us. So he's got fresher tires than us, as we are on the mediums still. We have the mediums for about 7 laps here as we head into the rabbits here, and we are just losing so much grip as we're getting a lot of understeer coming into the rabbits here. Fighting for 4th place, or actually 3rd place. It wasn't actually really a fight there, as the Brazilian just easily overtook us going into the rabbits here. And now we lose that 3rd place position, as we are now demoted into 4th, and we still got to serve our pit stop here, as we have to go onto the hard compound tires to avoid getting a penalty, since that is the required tire. So we're gonna have to come into the pit this lap, trying to manage the gap from 5th place, because going into the pits, it does take about 6 to 7 seconds away from your race time. So as long as we are about 6 to 7 seconds ahead of the 5th place Colombian, we should be able to hold off our 4th place as we come into the final corner now. Heading to the final corner, we just clip a little bit of the dirt. Doesn't hurt us too much, but we're just trying to avoid making any type of mistake here, as we actually go a little bit wide going into the final corner. Take a very wide entrance here, and we're able to hold it off together now as we come into the pits for the final time. Going to the pits, switch off to the hards, no fuel required. Are we going to be able to come out right in front of the 5th place driver? Yes, we are. So actually we got very lucky, because not sure exactly what happened to the 5th place Colombian. You can see that before we came into the pits, he was 11 seconds away, but now he's about 6 seconds away. So actually might have just been the calibration going on with the split here. So in 4th place now, can we catch up to the 3rd place American, as anything can happen here at Willow Springs, especially with these dirt aprons, I guess you would call it, but just the dirt on the outside can easily upset the car, get you loose, and you can go flying off, as especially on the dreaded final corner. Anything can happen here. So we're just following here as the 3rd place driver kicks up a little bit of dirt. See, he's making a little bit of mistakes here, as we're just following him, seeing if we could put a pressure from 2 seconds back, but doesn't look like we're going to be able to do so, as we only have 1 corner left. Is he going to make any type of mistake here as we come into the final corner? Just going out to the inside, and then going to shift down to the outside before we hit the final apex. We're waiting right here, see no braking meter boards, and unfortunately 3rd place was unable to not make any mistakes, which we needed. But it's okay, because we started in 9th place, avoided all the trouble in the beginning of the race, and we were able to finish this in 4th place. So not too shabby here. A really hard fought 4th place, as we made some, I would say, some really good overtakes, and we also took advantage of a lot of mistakes that some people made, as this track is just prone to a lot of accidents, especially with mistakes clipping the dirt, getting loose, spinning out, hitting other cars. Just so many things that can happen around Willow Springs. That's what makes it so exciting, in my opinion, and one of the reasons why it's honestly become one of my favorite tracks on GT Sport. But let me know how you guys have been dealing with this track, or just this week in general, as the daily races this week are actually pretty good. I really like them. One of them is at Red Bull Ring, and then the other one's at Suzuka. So I have to try out the Suzuka and Red Bull Ring race here soon, so that we can do the trifecta for the dailies this week. So hope you guys really found this video entertaining. If you guys did, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the videos. It really helps out the channel when you guys do so, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.